Oh, baby, are the Dallas Cowboys about to bend the knee and trade Micah Parsons? New bombshell report coming in. We discuss it next here on Four Verts. I'm Harrison Graham. Adam Schefter, along with Todd Archer, reports that for the first time, the Cowboys are willing to listen to trade offers on Micah Parsons. Let's get into the weeds here. Here's what Schefter had to say. Quote, no trade is imminent, but another team could always be aggressive enough to make it come together quickly. Per sources, the Cowboys would like to resolve the situation one way or another in the coming days with the season opener next Thursday against the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, the first thing that this tells me is that Micah has told the team he's not playing against Philadelphia without a new contract. Like Brian Schottenheimer can pump his chest out there the last few days and say, we expect Micah to be out there and play. Micah's not playing without a new deal. Whether he's being advised to do that, whether he's making that choice to do that, he will not suit up next Thursday night in Philadelphia against the defending champs with his current fifth-year option contract. That will not happen. I feel very firm about that at this point in time. Game's a week away. Like, even if he was willing to play, he'd have to start practicing basically tomorrow. So I do not think he will play without a deal. And does that mean they're going to trade him? We'll explore that as well. But this is why you subscribe, guys. We are literally right there. We are so close to 11,000 subscribers. We're 7 subs away. Who's going to get us over the finish line? Help us make it happen. Daily NFL, some college football content coming too. I'll have my 12-team college football playoff prediction video out soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have you guys covered every time there's major football stories. Okay. Also, Ari Merov had this note that Jerry Jones believes that he personally negotiated a deal with Micah 5 years worth of roughly $202.5 million, which is $40.5 million per year, which sounds like a lot, and it is. But Adam Schefter says there's been no formal offer since. Now, this is important to note. That is a big offer, no question, especially in the average annual value, but that gives Dallas 6 years of control. His fifth-year option this year is like 21, 24 million bucks, whatever. So it's basically a 6-year for 225. So it's actually not that great because assuming Micah continues to play well, in a couple years, that market's going to be, close to $50 million per year, and he's not going to be able to hit the open market until after he's 30. I'm guessing Micah's camp wants a 3 to 4 year deal and closer to $43 to $45 million per year. I saw Brad Spielberger, who negotiates some contracts. He's involved in an agency. He used to work for PFF and did contract projections. He said that reported offer that Ari tweeted out, is nowhere in the ballpark of what Micah's value is and would be on the open market right now. So that's a non-starter according to people in the know. And don't forget, our good friend Ricky Scoops, who, if they trade him to the Packers, is going to go on an absolute field day on Twitter. He says that Green Bay is prepared to give him $45 million per year. So if that's true, and Micah's agents know that, they're not going to take 40 per year, and they're definitely not going to take it on a 5-year deal with the 5th-year option included, where he's under contract for 6 years at below market value, basically instantly, when it comes to a player of his caliber. Will the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons? Gut feeling. Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'm still not sure they will, but it's never been more likely. Like, if it was 10% an hour ago, it's what? 30% now? There's at least a chance. They want a resolution, it sounds like, before next Thursday. And I promise you, that phone is ringing for Jerry and Stephen Jones. And if they get a big enough offer, they might just take it. And quite frankly, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to just kind of take a massive offer and be done with this whole dance. Okay, coming up, 5 teams that I think could trade for Micah Parsons. I mean, there's probably half the league that are going to be interested. But first, got to tell you about today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS, the best daily fantasy sports app in North America. Football is back. The real opening weekend of college football is here, and the big boys will be playing a week from today, including the Cowboys. But all eyes are on Texas-Ohio State this weekend, and I personally love Arch Manning to reach the end zone on a rushing score. So I'll take the more on half a rushing or receiving touchdown, as I think he scampers into the end zone. I pair that with LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier's less than 278.5 passing yards against the Clemson Tigers. That Arch Manning one is a demon pick, by the way, so that boosts the payout if you hit. $20 entry on this two-player lineup. Pays out $90 if I hit. Feeling pretty good about it. Get started right now with Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Get started today. Run your game. It's Prize Picks. Okay, 5 teams. Got to lead off with the Packers. Ricky Scoops, guy's been on a heater. They've got some money. They've got pieces they could trade back. They've got draft picks, and they're clearly interested. Even the big insiders have mentioned them as a team that would be interested in Micah Parsons at this point. Would Jerry send him to Green Bay? They've had some tough losses to the Packers over the years, including a couple years ago, which if you watch the Cowboys documentary, I think he called it the hardest loss he's ever had to deal with. So, that'd be a tough pill to swallow. I would think he'd have to get just a monster offer to send him up there, but they clearly are interested in Micah's services. The New England Patriots, they have the most cap space in the NFL at $52 million in change. They could use a cornerstone like this on their defense. They don't really have that dominant pass rush. They have Christian Gonzalez at corner, so you get Micah Parsons on the front 4. You got an elite piece on the front and back end of that defense. Mike Vrabel would love to get a guy like Micah Parsons into the building. And they got the money, they got the picks to do it. And if you're Dallas, A, that sends them into the AFC, and B, New England still may not be a great team this year, so the first-round pick you would get in the first year, that might be like, in the low teens or something like that. So that would be enticing if I was Dallas. I think that would be my strategy if I was the Cowboys. Where's a team I could send him that's not going to be picking in the late 20s? That's what I would be looking at. Would the Chicago Bears fit that bill? They've obviously been picking in the top 10 for the last several years. Now, the expectations are higher in Chicago with Ben Johnson heading into year 2 with Caleb Williams. And if they trade for Micah, they clearly view this as like their modern-day Khalil Mack move. Like, let's go get that beast on the defensive line. The Bears' money is a little tricky, but they could send back a Montez Sweat in the trade. That would clear up a lot of money. They could send back Dio Adengbo, who they signed this offseason, which would clear up some money as well. They could also move some money around by restructuring a DJ Moore or a Montez Sweat in the deal. They've got draft picks, so they could do that. And listen, the Bears' biggest weakness is probably their pass rush. So a guy like Micah Parsons would make a hell of a lot of a difference. How about Mr. F them picks themselves, Les Snead and the Los Angeles Rams? Could you imagine if you got Micah Parsons with Jared Verse on the same defensive line? You could offer Braden Fisk back. That's a pretty strong piece to offer back to Dallas. Maybe it's just 2 1s and Fisk, who I think would have pretty decent value on the open market. He's a pretty good young player. I know he was an older prospect, but looked damn good as a rookie. Also, the Rams have that extra first-round pick from Atlanta that they got in the draft, and that might be a high pick. That could be a top 15 pick, so you could get that pick, the Rams' own pick, and then maybe a future first as well. Like, the Rams could be the one team that would be willing to offer 3 1s because one of them isn't their own. So, they could offer quite a bit here for Micah Parsons if Les Snead, Sean McVay, and the boys just wanted to go completely all in for this year. And then even when you pivot off Matt Stafford, probably in a year or two, the defense would be locked and loaded and in place. You just got to find the right quarterback to replace him. And then lastly, how about the Tennessee Titans? You got Cam Ward. There's excitement there. Jeffrey Simmons, you pair him with Micah Parsons on that defensive front. That would be a pretty fun pairing. Or hell, who knows? If you want to send Simmons back in some kind of swap, you could do that. But Tennessee's going to have caps. They have cap space. They're going to have draft capital. Even with Micah, they're probably not a playoff team this year, so that could be enticing to Dallas as well. So I think they're a team that can make some sense. Other contenders, I mean, you think about a team like the Buffalo Bills. Would they go all in with a move like this? Would the Ravens pounce? I don't think the Chiefs would be the team to look at here. I don't think the Bengals would certainly do it after their Trey Hendrickson saga, unless they just sent Trey back, which that would be crazy if that happened. But I think those are a few other teams that could could be interesting. Trying to think who else. Detroit's got the cap space, but a lot of their contracts are about to kick in, and it's been reported that they're trying to extend Aiden Hutchinson, so I don't think that happens. The Raiders are one other team that have cap space. Could they pair him with Max Crosby? That would be interesting, but those are probably about the full extent of teams that I can think of at this point in time. What say you? Which team should trade for Micah Parsons? I want to hear it from you guys down in the comment section below. And we're just getting this note from Jeremy Fowler. Last week, Cowboys had received multiple inquiries but hadn't been willing to move on them, barring an otherworldly offer. Teams that make sense in league circles: the Packers, the Ravens, and the Cardinals, who also have cap space. Arizona could be looking to make a splash. So I mentioned Green Bay and Baltimore. Arizona, maybe they're a sneaky team to monitor as well. All right, that's going to do it for 4 Verts. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode. We're going to see what happens with Micah Parsons, and we'll have it all covered here on the channel. My name is Harrison Graham. See you guys soon.